I never believed in ghosts. All my life, I heard stories. My grandmother used to tell chilling tales. They were about vengeful spirits and cursed houses, but I dismissed them. They were just old wives' tales to me. Logic and reason were my guiding principles. Then I moved to Gurgaon. My new job was a dream come true. I found a spacious flat to share with two other guys. It was on the third floor of an old building. The rent was surprisingly low. We were thrilled to find such a good deal. Little did I know some things are too good to be true. My roommates, Akash and Vijay, were just as excited as me. We were all starting our careers. We were ready to conquer the world. Or at least, that's what we thought. We didn't know the darkness that awaited us. The darkness that lurked in the shadows of our new home. The flat was spacious, with high ceilings and big windows. It had a strange charm to it, an old-world charm that was both alluring and unsettling. The air felt heavy, like a weight pressing down on us. But we were young and naive. We dismissed it as the stuffiness of an old apartment. We soon discovered the flat had a history. The landlord was evasive. He mumbled something about the previous tenants leaving abruptly. He didn't elaborate. It didn't matter to us at the time. We were too busy unpacking and settling in. The flat came furnished. The furniture was antique and ornately carved. It added to the eerie charm of the place. There was an old grandfather clock in the corner. It didn't work, but every now and then we could have sworn we heard it chime. One peculiar thing about the flat was the religious imagery. There were pictures and idols of various gods and goddesses everywhere. Usually, they'd be placed high up, facing the door. But these were different. They were low on the walls, almost at floor level. And they seemed to be facing us, watching us. Akash, who was the most devout of us, found it strange. "It's disrespectful," he muttered. "They should be placed higher." But he didn't move them. None of us did. It was as if we were afraid to touch them. The lights started flickering that night. It was a minor annoyance, or so we thought. We blamed it on faulty wiring, but deep down, a seed of unease was sown. The seed that something was not quite right in our new home. Days turned into weeks. The strange occurrences continued. We would hear whispers at night. Soft, unintelligible murmurs that seemed to come from the walls themselves. Vijay claimed it was just the wind. Akash started sleeping with headphones on. Then there were the shadows. Fleeting glimpses of movement in the periphery of our vision. They always vanished when we turned to look directly at them. I tried to rationalize it. I told myself it was just our imaginations running wild. One morning, I woke up to find a framed picture lying face down on the floor. It was a picture of the three of us, taken on the day we moved in. The glass was cracked, right across our faces. I felt a chill run down my spine. This was no ordinary occurrence. The tension in the flat was palpable. We were all on edge. We stopped talking about the strange happenings. It was too terrifying to acknowledge. But we couldn't escape the feeling that we were being watched. Then it happened. The event that shattered our skepticism and plunged us into a nightmare. It was a hot summer night. The power was out. We were sitting in the living room, sweating and cursing the electricity board. Suddenly, Vijay gasped. "Look," he whispered, pointing to the corner of the room. I turned my head slowly, dreading what I might see. There in the darkness was a face. It was gaunt and pale, with eyes that glowed an eerie green. It stared at us for what felt like an eternity. Then, just as suddenly as it appeared, it was gone. Section 6. Flight from Fear. We didn't stay to see what it wanted. We grabbed our phones and ran. We ran out of the flat, down the stairs and into the street. We didn't stop running until we reached the main road. We stood there, panting and shaking, trying to make sense of what we had just seen. We couldn't go back to the flat. Not after that. We booked into a hotel for the night. The next morning, we went back to the flat to collect our belongings. We moved quickly and quietly, afraid to disturb whatever it was that haunted that place. We left the keys with the landlord. He didn't seem surprised to see us go. He didn't even ask why we were leaving. He just took the keys and closed the door behind us. It was like he had seen it all before. Section 7. Haunted no more. We moved into a new flat. This one was bright and modern, with none of the eerie charm of the old one. We never spoke about the experience again. We tried to put it behind us. We told ourselves it was just a bad dream. For a while, things seemed to be back to normal. The nightmares stopped. The feeling of being watched faded. We started to relax. Maybe we were wrong. Maybe it was all in our heads. Then, one evening, VJ came home from work early. He found me and Akash watching TV. He looked pale and shaken. I saw it again, he whispered. The face. It was in my room. Section 8. A terrifying thought. A chill ran down my spine. It couldn't be true. We had left that flat. We had left that nightmare behind. But VJ's terror was real. He wasn't imagining things. We huddled together that night, too scared to sleep. We had thought we were free. But what if we were wrong? What if we hadn't escaped the haunted flat? A terrifying thought entered my mind. What if it wasn't the flat that was haunted? What if it was us? What if whatever we had encountered in that flat had attached itself to us? Section 9. The rent we pay. The realization hit us like a ton of bricks. We weren't free. We might never be free. We had become prisoners in our own horror story. The rent we paid for that flat wasn't measured in money. We paid a far greater price. We paid with our peace of mind. We paid with our sanity. And we would continue to pay for the rest of our lives. We were haunted, and we always would be. The question wasn't how to escape the haunted flat. The question was, what had the haunted flat done to us, and what would it demand of us next?